Welcome back to the Prestij Podcast. Today, I have a very good friend of mine. He's an entrepreneur, a very successful one. And at the same time, he's a doctor with a very weird story. I don't want to do a lot of introduction here, and I would like to introduce Dr. Issam Fath to the Prestij Podcast. How are you?
Thank you, brother. Thank you so much for having me here.
It's a pleasure.
I feel weird because it's the first time to be in the podcast.
Usually, you have been
Yes.
hosting me for so many years in your programs, in your podcast, in your YouTube channel.
It's the first time to be in yours.
Issam is a lot of things, and I'm not gonna say anything. And actually, I want him to introduce himself to the
Yeah.
podcast.
Okay, so let's start. So my name is Issam. I'm Moroccan. As everyone knows, I'm Moroccan originally. And I was born in Spain, and I grew up, or I lived the most of my life in Japan and China. I studied my medical studies there. I worked as a doctor. Then at some point, I decided to leave and just go somewhere else. Okay. I have been thinking where to go, where to move. So I had chances to go anywhere I want. And the main reason to move to Turkey, not because of my wife, but because of, I don't know, bro. There is a magic in this country, bro. Like, I used to come here every year. Okay, let's say the first time I came to Turkey in 2008, it was something special, really nice, really beautiful. And then from that time on, I was a married Turkish woman at that time. Every year when I go from Japan or China back to my country, so I have transit here.
Yeah.
I have to spend 3 days. Then the destiny made me marry a Turkish woman without any plan. So I married a Turkish woman, and we come here every year, and it's awesome. I love it, and we decided to come and live here. So yeah. About my career, I told you I'm a doctor, but I quit my job, by the way. So
What kind of doctor?
orthopedist.
So you're a specialized
In
doctor
orthopedics, yeah.
in an orthopedic.
Yes.
I don't know how to pronounce that. That's too much. That's too much pronunciation for me.
Yeah.
But before we jump on how you got to Turkey, because I think you got the pace a little bit fast than what I wanted. I want you to talk to us about your experience between China and Japan, how you went there. By the way, Isam was born in Spain. Then he left a few years in Morocco. I mean, you went through a lot of
Yes,
countries,
yes,
a lot
it's
of
crazy.
challenges. How did you do this?
How? Yeah. So I was born in Spain because my father was working in Spain. He was a diplomat in Spain. So that's why I was born there. And then I moved. My father sent me to Morocco to live there, and I was lucky that I moved to Morocco. I'll tell you why I was lucky. So I moved to Morocco. I spent like 8 years or 10 years, learned language, studied high school. Why I'm lucky to be in Morocco, because of Morocco, because I was in Morocco, I was able to speak many languages, and that really impacted my entire life later. So when I wanted to study university, I like to go to weird countries, weird,
And China was one of them.
and develop weird, not somewhere I'm always familiar with. Europe, I'm familiar with Europe.
I mean, you went to an extreme, weird
Yes, extreme.
country.
Extreme. Japan first.
Yeah.
I got scholarship. So I went there. I lived there 7 years. It was a great country. Beautiful, nice, amazing, friendly people. But very stressful. Crazy stressful. You can't imagine. You see the life you have in Turkey?
Yeah.
You cannot compare it to Japan, bro. You cannot. So at that time, I understood that it's not about the job you do. It's not about the money you get, but it's about if you feel happy or not.
Yeah.
I understood it in Japan because I was making good money in Japan as a student. I was making good money, great life. Everyone wished to have that life. But I was depressed, man. I was stressed and depressed in Japan. So I had to leave. I can't stay there. And one of the ways I used to do to minimize the stress was I used to travel a lot. So any chance, three times a month, sorry, 3 times a year, any chance I have, I just go somewhere. Australia, mainly I used to go to Australia a lot, in Hong Kong, like that, to minimize that stress. But yeah, and then I got that big chance to have a scholarship in China to continue higher
So
education.
from Japan to China.
Japan, China. But when I was in Japan, they were telling me that China is bad, is not good,
Yeah.
Stereotypes.
Yeah.
That's the problem. In the world nowadays, stereotypes. People will tell you, oh, don't go to this country, don't go to that country. But when you go, you get shocked. So when I went to China, I was shocked. Wow, look at this country, how beautiful it is, how awesome it is. So I fell in love with China for many reasons. China is a very social country. So Chinese will sit with you, talk to you, nice conversation, have fun, very friendly people, very generous, all that. And you can really build that business mindset in China.
Because it's a
It's
production country.
yes,
I mean, all the economy is based on production, so it's very clear to understand that the country is focusing about
yes.
business in
But
general.
even the vibe, even how Chinese people live and how they raise their kids, you would understand that it's not a country of wasting time.
Yeah.
Everything is planned. Everything is, work, business. You will find yourself into that space. So you will also start to think about business and all that. But I was doing medicine, so it was different story.
Then you work in a hospital.
Yeah,
and
I
you did
did
your
4 years in a
Yeah.
hospital, one of the best hospitals in Shanghai. But at some point, I understood that's not the life I want. So I wanted a place. I'm not saying that Japan and China are not good. No, they are amazing country and great, but that's not what I want.
Yeah.
So I want more peace, more relaxing, mixed with development, fashion, shopping,
Yeah.
nature, beach,
Action.
action,
Yeah.
and the beach, bro. The sea. I love that. I can't imagine myself living in a city far from the sea.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is the many elements together.
So, how did you take it? Like the different, I mean, how many years did you spend in Asia in general? 10, 14?
22.
Wow,
22
22 years.
years.
So, how do you see yourself feeling with the gap of cultures
Mm.
between the Asian culture, Turkish culture, and as well as Morocco, by the way?
Yes. Yes. Turkey is the most interesting country you can ever see. So I live in Asia side of Turkey, Asia side of Istanbul. So that is the Europe side. When I come to Europe side, like this area where we're now, I feel more Europe. You can feel the vibe of Europe, that feeling
Yeah.
of Europe. But when I move to the Asia side where I'm living, there is that kind of feeling of Asia, Uskudar,
Yeah.
Kadıköy,
Check.
that's kind of Asian feeling. Asia is like that, like small streets, quiet, clean, organized. Just the difference is that you're living near the sea and beautiful nature and.
You lived in Spain, you lived in Morocco, you lived in Japan, you lived in China, and then you lived in Turkey.
Yeah.
And what I can see from your face right now
Yeah.
is that you're in love with Turkey more than any other country
Yeah.
that you've ever been.
Yes, exactly. Okay, there are so many whys. Um, when you go to Spain, Spain is Europe, but there's something missing. I don't know what, but there's something missing. Asia is Asia, but Turkey is the combination of all these things. For me,
Yeah.
Turkey, you can feel the European vibe, you can feel the Asian vibe, you can feel the family vibe, you can feel the single vibe if you want to be single here.
Yeah.
As I mentioned, you like the lifestyle I like. I can't find it anywhere.
Yeah.
You know, I've been last couple of months traveling to a couple of countries: Korea,
Yeah.
Vietnam, Thailand,
Malaysia.
Dubai,
Yeah.
Malaysia. But I always want to come back to Istanbul.
It's the exact same thing for me, you know. I've been to so many countries. Just I think in the past 2 to 3 months, I've been to Azerbaijan. I've been to Malaysia, Indonesia. I've been in the UAE. I've been in Saudi Arabia 2 or 3, or like 2 times, I think, in the past 2 3 months. And every time I catch myself wanting to come back crawling
Yeah,
to Turkey.
yeah, yeah.
There is a thing in this country that kind of get you addicted,
You cannot
maybe.
describe it, but
Yeah,
I can describe it actually. I really can describe it. I tell you something. I have two friends who came visited me here from Japan.
yeah,
One Japanese, one Korean. They were my classmates. One Japanese, one Korean. And I used to tell them a lot that I'm happy in Turkey, that I'm having a good life, and they follow me on social media, and they can see that I am really happy here. And they were not happy because they were living in different countries,
yeah.
working. So it wasn't about money. They were making good money there, but it was about happiness. So they said, okay, we're going to come to you. So they came, they stayed 7 days. They don't want to go back. They feel good. They said, please, let's open a clinic here so we can work
Mm.
all together.
You know what I felt is that there are two kind of tourists who comes to Turkey. The first kind, or the first type of tourist who comes to Turkey, is kind of only going to these touristic places, the touristical food,
Yeah.
and at the end they don't like the experience because, again, they're not living the local real experience. They're just going to the touristic areas, the touristic restaurants, whatever they see on TikTok and on Instagram and on social media, and that is not the real Turkey. The second
Exactly.
type of tourists who come to Turkey, who they are people who has a
Some,
good knowledge about the country, or they have good friends, or they have relatives, and I think those are the people who get to enjoy Turkey the most because they are guided by people who are living here either for their whole life, or friends who've been here like 5, 10, 15 years. I think those people are getting the best experience they can get in Turkey because most of them they don't show them this touristical places like Taksim or something. They go to other. Of course, you can do that in few hours, but it will not take 1 week or 2 weeks of your time of vacation. Yeah, that's Taksim. You can see it, for example, in 1 or 2 hours, and that's it. Sultan Ahmed, it's the same,
I
one or
don't
two
go.
hours. Yeah, I don't
I
go
don't visit
myself.
these
Yeah,
places.
I mean, unless I have someone that I need to show around. But there are a lot of things to do in Turkey. There are a lot of cities to visit. There are a lot of
Even Istanbul, you cannot finish it.
activities. Yeah, I've been here for 11 years in Istanbul. I've never, and I'm still using GPS whenever I go somewhere, out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe within my comfort zone, I don't use navigation, for example. But some places I have no idea about. I don't even know it exists because I don't know, they're just
Exactly.
somewhere that you never heard of.
Yeah.
Some museums that's been existing like 20 years and I just discovered them, for example, a few months ago. So I think Istanbul is an endless
And
city, and Turkey in general. I mean, I've got clients before who came to Turkey and they were kind of impressed with all of Turkey. They kind what they did is they came to Turkey, they came to Istanbul first, they rented a car and they did a road trip passing by Cappadocia, Bursa, Yalova. They're spending like 2 days here, 2 days there, and they really got into the Turkish
yes.
culture.
Yeah.
They discover because Turkey is not just Istanbul. Istanbul is the metropole of Turkey. There are a
Yeah.
hundred, I
Better.
think,
Better than
yeah,
Istanbul.
the hundred of other places you can go to,
Yeah.
beaches, mountains, anything that crosses your mind. I think you can find it in Turkey.
and the because I also had this experience. That's how I fell in love with Turkey. I had a road trip from the far north, Rize, or they call it, right? The Rize,
Yeah, I remember. I
to
think.
the far south.
Yeah.
And that's the point where I really fell in love with Turkey. I don't know how to explain, bro. Like when I was in the north of Turkey, we arrived at night, and I couldn't see anything because it's the middle of nowhere. Okay, we were staying in a hotel, and the hotel was like really beautiful,
Yeah.
wooden, the wooden kind of cottage, they call it.
Yeah.
Cottage, the wooden kind of cottage. But then when I wake up in the morning, you know what I see? When I wake up in the morning, a huge mountain, huge, in front of me, and behind me, on my right, on my left, while in the bottom. And like, bro, like I've never seen that in my life. Something really amazing.
No, there are things in this country that you can't
And super
explain.
clean.
Yeah.
And super clean, man. And the roads were like really, like very beautiful, very organized, very. So I had a great experience there. But then when I moved down south, it just reminds me of one country, Australia. Okay, it reminds me of Australia. If you guys know, there is a city called Cairns in Australia. It's copy paste of the west of Turkey. We say west and south. Copy paste.
Which
So
city, for example?
I've been to Fatih,
Oh yeah.
was it Oladiniz or
Oluding. Oh my God.
Kash or something? Kash.
Marmaris.
Of course, Antalya.
Antalya, Alanya.
All that area, all that area. I would say there is another city that really, okay, I want to move there. And I may move there in maybe in a year.
Antalya.
No, it's a city near Izmir. It's called Çeşme.
Oh, I know that. Yeah.
It's so nice. I love that kind of vibe.
It gets extremely busy in summer. Very busy.
It's okay,
Because it's a
Um,
seasonal area.
It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's awesome. Look, the vibe I like, the architecture, the beaches,
It's like the south of France.
it's like the south of France, exactly.
Yeah.
And these small coffee shops, awesome.
Restaurants.
Or you can live this life also in Istanbul.
Yeah.
You can.
Nişantaşı, for example.
Taşı, Baghdad Caddesi,
Yeah.
Maltepe, Bostancı, all that area. So, can you believe that my wife, she's Turkish, she haven't been to Taksim for 20 years.
I know a lot of people like this. I know people from Turkey, they've never been to Taksim ever in their life.
Wow.
I mean, they're from Istanbul. They've been all their life in this country, but for a reason or another, they've never been interested to go to Taksim.
But look, I would say from my experience, because I don't work in Turkey.
Yeah.
Okay. So I do, I'm a solopreneur. I do online business, all that. This is the best place for me.
Yeah. As a nomad.
As a nomad, this is the best place for me. Okay, so what I do, I live in a place which is a little bit out of Istanbul. I live in the middle of the forest. You have seen that, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Just I wake up, I see the sheep,
Sheeps.
and the trees. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Super safe, by the way. Super safe. Safety for me was number one. I don't want to live in a country where I just have to think about safety, because some countries are not safe.
How much time did it take you to get adapted to the Turkish cultures and the tradition, the culture, everything? I mean, did you feel any differences?
I don't even think about this.
Yeah, you've never
I
had.
didn't need to adapt about anything. I still don't speak Turkish.
Yeah, you've been here for how much? 10 years? 11?
I'm married for 11 years.
Yeah.
And I've been here exactly 5 years, right before the COVID until now.
I mean,
And I didn't learn Turkish.
look, me and you, we know how people lives in Turkey, especially as an expats. Me and you were foreigners living in Istanbul. And I'm sure you also see the news where people complain about Turkish people not speaking English, not speaking the language. Do you feel there is a problem like this?
No, because look, I don't speak Turkish. at all. And I like hanging out. I often, like almost every day, go coffee shops, shopping,
Restaurants.
restaurants, I never had this problem. Even when I applied for, what they call that, like residence permit,
Yeah.
I don't speak Turkish. And they treat me very good, no problem.
Yeah.
So from my experience, I never had any problem, any issue with anyone. In fact, they were so kind to me. I remember one day I needed to, okay, so when you apply for a residence permit, you need some documents, right?
Yeah.
One of the documents, I had to go bring it from police station. And I forgot to bring some stuff from the house. But because they saw I have a wife and kids, and it's complicated to just go home and bring it, they took me with their police car
Yeah.
to home and bring it and come. They were super friendly. And if you have family, this is, for me, from my opinion, this is the right place. If you have family. For
Yeah.
me, Europe, no way. If you have kids, you have wife, it's the best place. First, it's not expensive. Two, education is not expensive. You can choose what kind of education you want your kids to have. Either you want Canadian, like my friend, he's teaching his kid. My friend is a foreigner living here. He's a really huge businessman. Okay, so he moved from China to here and he bought a villa here. So he's living in the Başakşehir here.
Yeah.
So his kids are having what they call it, in Canadian school and everything.
In Florida, yeah.
If you want to study in a Canadian school in China, do you know how much it's going to cost you? $20,000.
Here, I think it's $10,000-$11,000. It's half price. Yeah, half price. Yeah.
The luxury life you can have here, it's impossible to have it, for example, in China or Japan because it's extremely expensive.
I mean, I've also assisted few clients before to bring their kids to settle down in schools and universities. I mean, that's something what we offer to our clients as a service, especially the clients who want to come and settle in the countries. I mean, we provide them A to C service from anything they need in order to
You mean
start.
they buy a house and then
Yeah,
get this
yeah.
service?
I mean, we offer them an A to Z service in order to
Nice.
facilitate their life and get them to pick up whatever routine they had before. So
That's good because in Japan,
yeah,
if you buy a house, they just sell you the house and buy it. That's their job.
that's majority in the word. That's how it
They
works.
don't
But
offer.
we kind of do because we understand that our clients may get some complications with the language barriers. So we try to facilitate anything we can and however we can in order to make their life easier. And a lot of our clients are high-end clients, so they really appreciate the fact that we try to make their life easy. So I had few clients that I had to assist them, like getting their kids into school, and the process was not complicated at all. A few papers and
Yeah.
I mean, as you said, the Canadian school, I've went there a few times, like $10,000-$11,000. You can get your kids to study in the Canadian school in Istanbul.
Yeah.
There is a question I have in mind. It's a little bit sensitive. I don't know.
Wow,
It may be sensitive, but you have a family here. And you know that there are a lot of misunderstandings that's happening in the media now. Turkey became expensive. What do you think is the cost of living in Turkey? Let's say you already have a house here.
Have a house?
Yeah, you have a house, your
If
own
you have a
house.
house, then it's so.
You don't have any other price.
Okay, let me give you. Okay, let's say
Roughly,
roughly.
what's the living cost in Turkey?
Okay, I will compare it to China because that's what I was living in Japan. So in Japan, if I want to live with my wife and two kids, including education, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about at least China, at least Shanghai. Okay, when I say China, I mean Shanghai or Shenzhen. These are the big cities. At least $4,000, $4,000 at
A month.
least. So we're not talking about having a car.
Yeah.
We're not talking about this stuff. At least, huh?
Can we break it down a little bit?
So school, I'm saying $4,000. School, he will study in Chinese school.
Okay.
Forget about international.
You mean in public school?
Public school.
Yeah.
Forget about international, man. Okay. And the rent, this is something crazy, just to let you know. In China, the rent is super expensive, bro. 1+1 is gonna cost you $1,500. Not in the center. In like
Somewhere
like
in the
really
rural
far.
in the rural
Yeah,
area.
really far. The center will cost you around $3,000. Okay? Independent apartment, not shared apartment.
A 1 bedroom.
Yes, 1+1.
Yeah.
Japan would be like the same, something similar.
Yeah.
Okay, dining, it depends. If you don't want to eat in the street, this bad food, and you want to go to like a good
A
restaurant.
mid-level
Because
restaurant.
look, restaurants in Turkey are very good. Even the cheap one, even the middle class one, even the cheap one is still clean and good.
Yeah.
So you can't compare it.
The quality of food in Turkey in general is very
yes,
good. Yeah.
Yes, you can have this premium life here, even not rich. So in Japan, it's impossible. For example, let's have a coffee. I love coffee. I'm a big fan of coffee. Coffee in China will be at least, the cheapest one will be $10.
Yeah.
Good coffee, $10 at least, without buying any dessert or anything. So you end up $20, $30. Korea is same thing. Korea, last time I bought a burger, which is normal brand, I'm not going to say it here, like a very cheap brand, $35.
Oh.
Crazy. Super expensive. Insane. But in Turkey, I can have that life, that better. I can go to the better restaurant, better coffee shops. You know how
Yeah.
the design, is beautiful, good area, all that. You can take only taxis. You don't need to take metros or anything, just taxis. And you can teach your kids in a really premium school, like really private premium, all that.
Yeah.
Plus the gym, plus all that kind of things. $2,000. $2,000. I would say, I'm not saying normal life,
Yeah.
premium life.
Yeah.
And I go out almost 3 times a week with my wife and kids. We go here, we go there, we do what we want, we eat what we want. We're not having restrictions.
Yeah. So let's say $3,000. I think
2 is awesome.
Yeah,
Two is-
$3,000.
You are
A king.
king,
Yeah.
like really king.
I mean, comparing to other countries, compared to Dubai, for example, comparing to the Middle East, $2,000 to $3,000 is nothing.
At Dubai, $3,000.
Is your rent? I think your monthly rent.
I tell you, I went to Dubai 3 nights, 3 days. I didn't shop anything, just food, here.
You know, I have a funny saying.
$700.
I have a funny saying when one of my friend tried to sell me the idea of Dubai. For Dubai, I think you breathe $100.
Yeah.
You breathe $100. One more breath, it's
tell you-
another $100.
A lot of people now go into Southeast Asia, Bali,
Yeah,
right?
Thailand.
Thailand. I was in Thailand last month. No way. It's cheap. Not cheap, like cheap.
But the quality of life.
Quality of life is not good.
I also been to Bali like 2 months ago.
We're not saying here
Yeah.
Thailand is bad or don't go or these things. But the life quality is not that good. You can't compare it, bro.
Would you go there to live?
No,
Me too.
I can't.
I've been,
Tourism, yes.
yeah, I've been to Bali like 2 months ago in September with my sister, and I was surprised, kind of negatively, unfortunately, because I think I was oversold the idea of Bali. The infrastructure is very basic. There is no cars, old cars only. Majority of people, motorcycles. I mean, taxis or drivers. I think Bali is kind of over.
Bali is for singles.
Yeah,
You can't have a good school for your kids, and you can't have good hospitals, good health.
yeah. If you're married and you have kids,
By the
I
way,
think
this
it's
is
impossible.
one of the most important things
Yeah,
that makes me still staying in Turkey and love staying in Turkey is the healthcare.
oh,
So if you become Turkish, if you're a Turkish, I'm not Turkish citizen.
Yeah.
My wife, she's Turkish. And my wife, I remember you remember I called you before, I told you she's really,
A year ago, I remember. Yeah.
so she had to stay in the hospital for 4 nights, like intensive care. And the hospital, like, bro, I'm a doctor. I have seen hospitals in my life, a lot of hospitals in my life. They were treating her so good, very friendly, so good, very clean. I was surprised, and I was thinking, is this a really government hospital?
Yeah. And that is your feedback as a doctor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was really wondering. I called you, and I was scared
Yeah,
that they
I
will
remember.
charge me so much. And one of my brother-in-law, my wife brother, he told me, "Look, bro, you're gonna pay $10,000. You're gonna pay 10,000." He was making a joke.
How much did you
He
end
was
up paying?
scaring me, you know.
How much did you end up paying?
Zero.
Yeah.
Nothing. We were leaving the hospital, and I was just waiting. Maybe someone would tell me, "Hey, Issa, come."
Yeah.
But really,
I think insurance cover, like the coverage of insurance here and the medical care in Turkey in general, public or private, whatever you want, according to your need.
insurance was like Sega, like
The public, yeah, the
the pub-
governmental
but
insurance.
and she doesn't work. My wife, she doesn't work.
Yeah.
She just pay every month 700 lira or something.
Yeah.
Which is like $20 a month, and she get covered by everything.
Yeah. No, I think it's really good.
There are some other hospitals like I've been to take my kids there, specialized in kids. Some really specialized hospital, like huge. I have seen huge hospitals only in China. In China, a hospital can be as big as this entire area, you know, this entire area, but also in Turkey.
Yeah.
So I took my kids to this specialized hospital. It was like a hotel, man. Like a hotel. Like really organized, clean in Sancaktepe.
Yeah. No, I've seen some fancy hospitals. I mean, just this governmental hospital, for example, in Başakşehir, this mega hospital.
that one.
It's a city, you know. It's not a hospital.
Yeah. I made. By the way, I made a video about that.
Yeah, dozens of buildings, all specialties, every single specialty you may ever need. I mean, this is just one example, and I'm sure there are so many. We talked about healthcare, we talked about education, we talked about the Turkish culture, we talked about the food. By the way, the reason I'm doing this podcast is not to promote real estate, and this podcast, by the way, is not only for real estate, but I also want to talk about the culture in general. So that's why in the channel, probably sometimes my guest will be
From different backgrounds.
some expert in real estate, doctors, lawyers, accountants from different stuff in order to create some diversification of guests, and in order to give the people ideas about Turkey that maybe they don't know, because we are kind of insiders in the country, so we kind of know some details that people cannot access to. And I'm really pleased to have you here with me. So
By the way, by the way, we're not. I'm talking about myself because I'm a guest here.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make Turkey look beautiful or something, because I have no benefit to make it look beautiful.
Yeah.
The government will not give me millions of dollars because I talk
To promote Turkey. No, we're not promoting Turkey. We're just talking reality.
my experience.
Yeah, we're talking reality. It's your experience, my
Everyone's
experience.
experience is different, but I would say something. If you are a negative person, or you are surrounded by negative friends who just criticize everything, they will see the place negatively and they will feel it negatively. If you are a positive person and you have positive friends around you, you will see it good. I have seen people who keep what they call that. They keep criticizing Singapore. I've been to Singapore last time. They don't like Singapore. They hate Singapore. They criticize Singapore. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. Because I have some Singaporean friends. You know, in Singapore, $10,000 you cannot live, man.
Yeah.
You cannot survive. and it's too hot, it's too this, it's too that. So they see Singapore as a very, very bad place, and they moved. They left. They moved to Malaysia also because it's near. So your decision and your vision about Turkey has a lot to do with the people you hang out with, what you see, the news you see, social media,
And
whatever.
unfortunately, there are a lot of negative news in the media. And I think it
That's
does
false. It
not,
doesn't-
yeah, that doesn't reflect the reality because
no.
we are here and we don't see these kind of things. And people talks about racism, people talk about a lot of things.
If I was thinking if I was thinking
that's
to news or social
everywhere.
media, oh yeah. Look, if I was focusing on news and social media and what people say, I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
I would be already maybe somewhere in Canada, you know? And stereotypes, believe me, it's all about stereotypes. They tell you, okay, what do you hear about Japan? What do you hear about Japan?
I don't hear anything.
Good country, amazing, blah, blah. But a lot of people don't know that in Japan, you cannot have premium life with affordable money.
Yeah.
No way. A lot of people, they don't know that in Japan, you can be. Bro, they even made research that a lot of people having cancer because of the depression and stress they have,
Yeah.
and so many things.
Yeah. How did you transition your career to Turkey, and what kind of challenges did you face when you first came? I mean, you were a doctor before. Did you try to find any jobs in the country? Did you try to practice in the country, or you just came to Turkey without the idea of being a doctor and you wanted to proceed with what you were doing now? By the way, Islam is uh, there's so much things to say. I mean, besides being a doctor, you are an entrepreneur, you are a content creator, you have your YouTube channels, not only one, not two, you have multiples. You are you are,
told you,
you are an influencer, you are influencing so many people, and
Yeah.
you're doing like content in Arabic, in English, in separately. So you're doing so much. And at the same time, you're managing content for so many companies. I know,
Yes. It's crazy.
etc., etc. Yeah.
It's crazy.
So, how did you transition to Turkey, and what kind of challenges did you face when you first came here?
So the last year, okay, when I was working as a doctor, I wanted to change my life. I didn't like my job. It's an amazing job. You can get money. You can get paid so good, especially in China as a doctor. So I decided to give up all that. And I told my wife, let's go to Turkey. Let's have some experience for a couple of months and then see. We moved to Turkey. COVID hits.
Oh,
Yes.
so basically, you were living with your Turkish wife in China.
Yeah, in
Then you decided to. Oh, so you did not move right away after you
I
married.
already had kids in China, by the way.
Okay,
Already had
okay.
my first kid in China. So we moved. We moved. So what I said, okay, you go first. Okay, try to find an apartment. I will come and we will stay 3 months and see how it is.
Evaluate the situation.
So we moved in 2000. COVID was 2019 or
Yeah.
2000.
No. Beginning of 2020. March 2020. Yeah.
Okay, so I moved on 2019. First month, second month, third month. Then I found myself staying longer.
Yeah.
Longer. Then I used to come and go between China and Turkey, come and go. And then I ended up, okay, I'm gonna stay here. Then the COVID came. Then the COVID made it short. Okay, Sam, you're gonna stay here.
Yeah.
So when I came here, I already had a plan. I'm not gonna work as a doctor. I don't want to work as a doctor. So I wanted to start my online career, online business. Okay, so I love camera. I love making videos. So I made one video. I remember about that hospital, that biggest hospital in Europe. By the way, it's the biggest in Europe. I don't know if you know or not. It's the biggest one in Europe. So I made a video. The video next day hits 2 million views.
Wow.
That's the beginning of me doing social media.
That was in Arabic?
In English.
In English, okay.
In English. 2 million views on Facebook. And that's the beginning of my career online. Then I get an offer from the Are they called presidency? I think
Yeah, the Turkish presidency. Yeah.
Turkish presidency.
And that's when we met.
Yes, they asked me to give them some ideas for social media. So I told them, okay, how about we shoot about the most successful foreigners here in Turkey, and that's how I met you.
Yeah.
That's how I met you.
So I'm happy that I met you that time.
Thank you. Same, really. So I've been creating content since at that time. I mean, since then, and for me, being in Turkey was the right place because I get so many offers, so many brand deals out of Turkey. So to fly around, it's the right spot.
Yeah.
If I go from Morocco, Spain to Japan or China, it's gonna take me so long. But from Turkey, because it's in the middle, it's easy to access everywhere. So yeah. Then I moved. I had a studio here. It was so cheap to rent a studio, so we had a studio. Remember
Yeah.
that studio?
Yeah.
Then I checked my career, and then I switched my house. I got a bigger house with duplex, double like 2 floor, and I made a home studio too. So my job was just making content. Now it's same thing, making content, and because of making content, I get clients who was watching my content, and they told me, "How about you manage our social media?" And most of my clients are from Singapore, Malaysia, Singapore.
It is.
So imagine I'm in Turkey, in Chikmeke, which is like a nature. It's a really beautiful man. Clean, organized, not much people, nature, family friendly area. And I manage my work from Chikmeke, but my clients from Singapore and Malaysia. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
And every month I travel, and the airport is very, to access, and one of the best airports in the world. So you just go to the airport, fly, do your job, back. So
Okay. Speaking of your YouTube channel and your own content creation, what inspired you to start a YouTube channel? And how did you balance your YouTube career with your day-to-day job and your work? I mean,
wow, a lot of people, they tell me you're crazy because
you are.
yeah, they see it differently. For a lot of people, YouTube is like a game. It's like kids things. No,
But let me tell you something. I mean, to leave your life as a doctor and start YouTube. I mean, I agree with these people if they call you crazy.
no, I tell you something. I wanted to be independent.
Yeah.
I want to be location free, okay, and office free. Like I don't want to work for anyone, and I want to live wherever I want, okay. And I want to live in a nice country, but I don't want to work for people in that country.
Yeah.
So YouTube was the best thing.
So
Plus,
that's the best package you got for yourself.
package.
Yeah.
Plus, YouTube for me, from my perspective, because I've been doing it for 40 years, is the best place where you can promote your knowledge, business, whatever. I remember you told me for some big companies here in Turkey, the number one leads comes from YouTube.
Because you build a trust relationship with clients before you meet them.
Yeah. And you believe that now I have followers from all over the world. I created a community, and the people who entered that community, I've seen people from the US, from Nepal, from Japan, from Korea, from all over the world. It's amazing.
But how did you manage creating content in both English and Arabic? It's challenging. It's challenging. I mean, you have two Instagrams, two YouTube channel currently, one for Arabic, one for English per each, YouTube and Instagram. That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of work.
And I think you're creating content almost every day.
Every day.
How did this idea came to your mind at the beginning?
So first, YouTube. Okay, now let's not talk about it. How I do. It's a plan. I wake up in the morning because my kids go to school at 7:30. So I wake up, I tell them bye-bye, everything. I take shower, I dress up. Then I start creating content. First video I make is the English channel. Okay? Number one. After that, I make the Arabic channel YouTube video. After that, I make reels. It takes me around 2 hours, 3 hours, the whole thing. Then I have another 2, 3 hours to do my job, my client's job.
Yeah.
Then I'm done. So generally it takes 5 hours. Then I go walk in that nature and that's also
So while your kids are in school, you're done with everything.
exactly done with everything. And there's so many, I love it because I love to do that.
Yeah.
And I saw the potential. The fact that you have people following you from all over the world, thousands of people. It's awesome, man. It's awesome. I tell you one example. By the way, Turkey welcomes a lot the content creators.
Yeah.
They love it. So there was a time I wanted to go to Korea, me and my wife. So we went to Korea. Okay. My wife, she's Turkish. In Korea, they don't ask them any question. Korea, Japan, Singapore, they don't ask Turkish people, why you coming? Why you coming to do here? They don't. I don't know, because of the good relation or something.
Yeah.
But zero question, bro. Zero question. But me, even I had been to Korea many times, she kept questioning me, why you coming? Why this? Why that? They made me tired. And I said, you know what? I'm a YouTuber. I'm coming here to make videos. Then she was like, oh, show me your channel. I showed her the channel. And then she was like, wow, okay, welcome.
Wow.
You see that?
Yeah.
So
It's
it's one of the stories.
It's a different status,
difference.
Yeah, it's
It's
a
a
different status. So do you monetize your YouTube channel? I mean, do you profit anything from your YouTube channel?
My income, all my income comes from social media.
Yeah.
And because of YouTube, I have one client. He saw me, he watched my videos on my English channel. He's Singaporean. And he said, can I talk to you? And this is a crazy story. And he said, okay, give me your Telegram. I gave him Telegram. We kept talking. Okay. And then he said, okay, I want you to come. He told me, I want you to come to meet me in Malaysia. He's from Singapore, but he lives in Malaysia. I went there and he said, okay, I'm going to buy a ticket, everything. Just come and I want to talk to you. And I'm crazy. I said, okay, no problem. I won't go. So I went to Malaysia. I met him for 3 days. He took care of me, the best hotel, the best everything. We sit together. He said, look, I know you do YouTube. I know how you're doing this kind of things. And I know you're good at that. Can you do the same strategy, same things for our holding? They have a holding. So there's a holding, and under the holding, they have gaming company, insurance, green energy, like
Yeah.
big companies, huge holding. I said, this is something big. I like, how can I do that? Like too big. He said, no, don't worry. Just do what you are doing. Just be yourself. Use that techniques in our business. So he gave me the first company, second, third,
Yeah.
because of YouTube.
I mean, YouTube can sometimes bring you something
You never know who's watching you, man.
crazy. Yeah, you
I have
never know.
crazy stories to tell you. I have people who following me, invited me to Dubai.
Yeah.
And I realized they are like next level. I was last time walking in Dubai Mall, and vlogging with this camera.
Yeah.
And then one guy stopped me. Hey, what are you doing? I said, I'm vlogging. Because it was like weird for him to see someone wearing a suit vlogging. Have you seen someone wearing a suit vlogging?
No.
No. So it feels weird. And he asked me, where you from? What are you doing? I said, I'm doing this and this. He said, can I have coffee with you? I told him, now I'm busy, but we can do it next day. So I met him next day. He's from Mexico. And he was with an Indian guy. So Mexican and Indian. He said, look, we have a company in this and that. Can you help us make strategy of our social media?
Yeah.
And then they become my clients. I'm serious. And I'm going to Mexico soon. Mexico and India.
Wow.
You just heard this now, right?
Okay. This is a scoop.
update, yeah? You update, yeah? Yeah.
Mexico is beautiful, by the way.
It's crazy. Look at the power of social
I
media.
mean, from my YouTube channel, I've received so many clients. I mean, related to real estate, because majority of the things we post on our YouTube is related to real estate, property, chores, and everything. And a lot of them, they see things and
Yeah.
they like it from there, and they only want to work with you. Yeah.
Because YouTube, it's a long form content.
Yeah.
someone to be able to watch your videos for 15 minutes or 30 minutes
Or an
to
hour.
watch,
Yeah.
it's not easy,
Yeah.
you know. They are only the only people who have a very high focus,
Yeah.
very fast focus people we not easily can turn into clients.
Yeah.
So I've been doing that and managing that, everything from Turkey, Istanbul,
And you're enjoying
the
it.
best place in the world.
Yeah.
I always say,
Me too. It's also one of, I mean, not one. I think it's, for me, it's
next
the
month is
best.
going to have a new experience beside Mexico. We're going to New York and Montreal,
Canada.
Canada. And let's see.
Yeah.
I still feel okay. I'm gonna like them.
Look, this is
My
not
place is here.
this is not the first video we're gonna make, me and you.
Yeah,
And I'm gonna ask you how your experience in those cities gonna go.
sure,
Uh,
sure.
this was a pleasure
Thank
to me for having you in the Prestige podcast.
Thank you.
As I said, this is not the first or the last time we're gonna do this, because I think now we're doing an episode per week and about a lot of topics: life in Turkey, real estate, investments, business. And I think me and you, we have a lot
Yeah,
to talk about.
yeah, a lot,
A
of
lot.
stories.
So much. This was an introduction video, and I hope I'll see you again in another episode.
Thank you.
And
And I'm really, I want to add something. I really like the people you bring to the podcast.
Yeah.
And I have one favor, guys, if you can do it.
Sure.
Please share with us more about the life in Turkey
On YouTube.
on YouTube.
Okay.
Because people wanna, they wanna see sometimes
Yeah.
the life.
We'll try to. I mean, now we kind of got a little bit more focus on podcasts because that's what's going now.
I love
the- on-
podcasts.
on-
By the way, I love podcasts.
Yeah, on a weekly basis. But I want to do what you meant.
Maybe sometimes.
Yeah, maybe you can do with me and you.
Yes,
You
yes,
know, just roaming around Istanbul like we used to do before. Nishantashi on Sunday.
That's what I do. I was shooting a vlog now.
Yeah. I mean, whenever I see this guy, he's shooting a vlog. He's shooting his content. I mean, he gets with me in the car. He's shooting.
Yeah.
We go out for coffee.
I
he's
like that.
shooting. We go
I
out
like
to
that.
eat. He's
And by the way, this is content creators heaven.
yeah.
I'm serious. Maybe you don't know this. It's the easiest place where you can create content.
Yeah. You're doing very good, and I'm really proud of you, and I'm happy to be a friend of yours.
Thank
you. Know, I learn a lot from you on a daily basis. We share a lot of information. We travel together. We spend a lot of time together. But I really enjoy spending time with you.
And New York together.
Yeah.
Make some podcast there.
Yeah. Oh, that's gonna be crazy.
All right.
Thank you so much for being with us today. And this is it for this episode. And I'll see you in another one.
Thank you.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.